right, good morning, everybody. Today I am going to be participating in the 30 Days of Sketches by Christy's Beautiful Life. This is day 6, and today we're going to be working on a sketch by Alicia Lawrence. And for this sketch, it looks pretty simple, but we'll see how simple I keep it because generally I tend to go overboard. I'm going to aim for simple and we'll see what happens. So with this one, it is showing 2 pictures. They look about 4x6 size here, and then with several different mats of different papers underneath, and then these 2 triangular looking pieces here for the corners, and then a couple of areas of embellishment here. So what I have decided to do is I'm actually going to use one 5x7 photo in place of the 2. This is from a couple of years ago with my kids, about 3-ish years ago. It was right before the pandemic started. I know that because my parents were here and they took the photo of the kids. So funny thing here is in southeastern Texas, it looks like fall, but this is actually Christmas Day. But I'm gonna cheat a little and I'm gonna do a fall layout anyway, just because we've got all the leaves, and this is about when our leaves start to fall, is December, January in Southeast Texas. So I'm gonna use my fall papers for this because I think they match. So in order to do that, this was actually a scrap room kit. I don't remember if it was from last month, September. I'm thinking that it was, but I could be wrong. And it features the Fall Fever set, the Fall Fever collection from Echo Park. So I have these 3 beautiful printed papers, and these I think are the size I'm going to use. I really like these colors. They pull out the blue and the yellow, and even this son here, he is wearing, I think that's a really dark gray sweater that he has on, and that kind of works with this really dark blue. It seems to pull from that. The only one is my daughter with her pink. We don't seem to have any pink in here, but that's okay. But with the boys, it's really seeming to pull their colors. So I really like this color scheme here for these photos. So I love this plaid on this side. On the other side, we do have a bright yellow with some little plus marks. So we'll see if that makes its way in any place, but my plan is this one. I love these leaves here. I definitely want to showcase this somehow. I don't know if I will fussy cut leaves or if I will use the paper, the patterned paper as is. I haven't quite decided yet. On the back, we have that kind of grayish blue color with plus marks, just like this print here from the other one, but just bigger plus marks. And then the grayish blue. And then we have this really cool red patterned paper with like these drawn on lines that make like these squares on the page. It's red and it looks black. It could be a really dark charcoal, or it even could be blue, but I think it's black. And I really love that pattern and that color. And on the back, we have these pretty wreaths. I know for a fact that I'm going to be using the red here though. And then for my background page where I build everything on, I am going to use this piece of craft basil cardstock that came with my scrap room kit. And for embellishments, we received this whole sticker sheet from the Fall Fever collection. And so I'm going to be using that to work on my clusters. So that's the plan. And I think what I'm going to do, as I looked at this paper, I know this is my background, and I think for the triangles, I want the red because I want to use the pretty prints, I think, as these layers down here. So let me go and cut out my triangles and at least get that part started, and then I'll start to look at the mats. And if I can figure out what I want, I'll cut those out and then we can put them together. All right, I'll be right back. Okay, so off camera, you can see I went ahead and I cut those 2 triangles out of the red paper, and I did scuff up the edges of those so that, you know, it could look a little bit worn out. And in order to not waste the papers so that I can use them another time because they're just so pretty, I went ahead and just cut strips. That paper right there with the yellow is actually the back side of the plaid, which I used to map my photo. I did go ahead and do that and scuffed that up too off camera. And here I am just putting that first layer behind the photo in. And like I said, I just cut strips with the yellow side up, and then I decided to tear along this edges there. I just wanted a little bit of a different look from the scuffed for that center portion. But for this outer part, this outer layer, I just cut strips, and I'm just going to tuck those. And for the leaf paper, I'm doing a really rough scuff with my my scuffing tool and my edging tool, whatever you want to call them. And then off camera, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to curl down the edges just like I'm showing you right here. I liked that look of it, and it gave just a little hint of the kind of the bluish gray underneath of that photo, or I'm sorry, of that leaf paper. And I like that that's bringing that bluish gray out. So if you see my hands moving kind of wildly, I actually did like live with all of this and described everything to you, but y'all, I just can't put up a 40-minute video. I just can't do it. So I decided to speed it up and just kind of do the voiceover over top. So if you see my hands kind of flailing around, that is why, because I was explaining what I was doing as I was doing it on the video. I went ahead and I used one of my Thickers titles that says family. It's that really pretty shiny gold. I love gold with fall papers because there's always kind of that goldy yellow color in there because, you know, that's how our leaves look in the fall. And so I love putting little touches of gold. So I do use that family. I had to put some adhesive foam underneath the F and the A because the whole cluster of the photo is standing up there. I did put it up on top of some foam, so to give a little shadow. And so here I'm going to start going through the sticker sheet. I am going to use that tractor and pumpkins. I really don't care that it's actually December because you know what? This paper's cute and I just want a fall page, and we just really don't have fall here. And so I'm just going to pretend like we do. So I wanted to start a little scene down there. I did go ahead and skip ahead. I do skip ahead a lot. I apologize when I am doing the embellishing because it took me, I do not use stickers well. I have a really hard time with stickers, but I was determined that that was what I was going to use for my embellishments on this page. So I do it, but I go off camera a lot and kind of put things together because I am not a fan of stickers and it's really hard for me to use them. So that's why you see me skip ahead a lot because I do a lot off camera. I'm not very confident in my sticker using skills. But just a second ago, what I tucked underneath the tractor was actually a banner, and it said something about welcome to fall, or it said something about fall, and I didn't want anything to say fall. So I went ahead and I cut that banner in half and just kind of tucked it underneath the tractor there so that we just have a little bit of floral element to the page. And I also brought that wreath out and I cut that in half. I set it down, but I am going to use it later. These Flair from Scrap and Happy Studio, I love, love, love them, but I do end up using something different just because I didn't end up putting any, well, I do actually end up putting some sunflowers on it, but I found something that I felt worked a little bit better. So I do remove them. This little bench right here, I love this little bench, and I felt like it was really appropriate because my kids are sitting on a bench out in our backyard. So I figured that bench worked well. So I popped him up on some foam and stuck him up there to start the top cluster. And leaning up against him, I do have the rake with some colorful leaves down there, and I popped him up a little bit too. And I think that's a really cute start to that top cluster. Okay, so here's where I said I skipped ahead a lot. I went off camera and I played around with the stickers until I could come up with something that I liked. So I apologize that I did not show you my process of coming up with that, but like I said, I really struggled. So what I added to the bottom cluster is I added that sign that says apples and pumpkins, and he's popped up a little bit. I added the 3 little pumpkin cluster. It's actually 4 pumpkins because in the background behind the sign just a little bit you can see some florals. That's actually a pumpkin with some florals sticking out of him. And then I have the 3 pumpkins on different heights of foam sticking up, so you can see there all the dimension. I tucked that wreath, part of it up above the tree and part of it right below the tractor, right where I was pointing out. In our top little cluster, there's my cute bench, and then I did find a little box that has some sunflowers in it that I stuck next to it. The florals sticking up there are the other half of the banner, and then I did some scattered leaves. Some of them are popped up and some of them are not. Again, I apologize that I did not show that process, but I really struggled, y'all, with using those stickers. I'm really proud of myself that I did, but I really struggled. Here's the flair that I decided to use instead of the sunflowers. This is still from Scrap and Happy Studio. The one up on top says falling leaves, and I felt like that was appropriate up there with all of the leaves that are scattered around. And the other one I think says sweater weather. I can't read it on my computer screen, but I'm pretty sure that it says sweater weather. And so that one I'm going to put down with the tractor and all of the pumpkins. And I actually really do like this, even though I'm not the biggest fan of stickers. I really do think this is cute, how it turned out. These enamel dots are just a part of my stash. I have a bunch of them. I have a couple of sets of them, and they're all different colors. I don't know what brand they are, but I decided to use some yellow enamel dots down here on the bottom just so that they will kind of stick out there on the red. Up on the top, I was going to do the same thing, but then because I had so much color with the leaves, I decided I wanted to do the red, and I'm going to go ahead and put that kind of off the triangle and just onto the craft cardstock. And I like those. I think they look really cute, and they're a nice little finishing touch there. So I only have a couple more things that I'm going to do. One of those things I'm going to do is I am going to add some splatters. I'm going to use a Vibes from Shimmers called Glorious Day, and it's just this really, really pretty gold color. It's like a true gold color, but I'm teasing y'all there when I am getting it all mixed up there, because while I was mixing it, rolling it between my hands, I saw some thread that I had set aside, and I decided that I wanted to put a little bit of tangled thread on this page because I felt like it would be appropriate for kind of a fallish looking layout, and I wanted to bring a little pop more of that yellow gold color. I think it's because my son's shirt is so bright that for some reason I kept feeling like I really wanted some more of that goldy yellow. So I did do one little bit of tangled thread up there on the top. And then I'm going to do another one down at the bottom, kind of tucked right underneath the tire of the tractor. And as I was explaining while I was doing this on the original video, I'm really terrible at tangling thread. I don't know how y'all do it and make it look so cute and purposefully tangled, but still like that's what tangled thread would look like. Mine just looks like loops, and I don't feel like I can do it correctly. So I'm going to keep practicing. I don't mind how the tangles look on this, but I still need some practice on my tangled thread. So I'm going to keep it up. At this point, now I am going to add my splatters. I know a lot of people use just the little applicator there, but I like to use my paintbrush instead. I don't feel like I can get the type of splatters I want when I use the applicator that comes with it. So I'm just using a paintbrush. I did go ahead and sprinkle all over both clusters. I'm sorry, I lost the word there, but I skipped ahead a little bit so you didn't have to watch all of it, because I'm pretty liberal with my my sprinkles. So as a finishing touch here, I really wanted a little bit more of that shiny gold, so I went into my thicker stash and I had this set of titles that has some really cute gold puffy hearts, and so I'm sticking them in just so we get a little bit more of that gold shine. And in a moment here, I'm going to go ahead with a slow down. Is that layout complete? Here's a little bit close up here. All right, So as you can see, the shimmers is still wet over here on the craft, but you can see how it sparkles and shines over there on the red. It's pretty dry right there. So that's how it will look. And I do like how that turned out. It's just enough sparkle to be noticeable there with the gold. And here's the little cluster with the little bench. I think it's so cute. And then here's this cluster over here with all of the pumpkins. I love them. I think they're so adorable. Look at how cool that is when you get that Shimmers paints on that flare, that canvas flare. It's so cool. Okay guys, so this is day 6 for Christy's Beautiful Life, 30 Days of Sketches. I hope y'all enjoyed this. If so, please go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you can be alerted when I put more videos up. Thanks for watching today. Bye for now.